Are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin.
We'll touch. Yeah, touch the hand. I extend. So touch. I didn't stand to touch her, but I touch her hand. Yeah, then she looked at me. Oh, I could see her eyes. Just as I hope they be. I said, touch, baby. I didn't mean to touch you, but I just touched your hand. Well, she looked so understanding, tried to look so recommending, and I've been with her all night long, sharing a feeling that grew strong. We found ourselves a love that couldn't possibly go wrong. I still hold her hand in mine, and it still makes me feel so fine.
Okay, well, we're doing something completely new. I think it's the first time here on M Black, but we're actually arrived at the BBC Radio Cambridgeshire's studios to what goes on during the show on a Saturday when United are playing, the phone-in and things like that. So, I've got here Owen, okay. Now, you're the gentleman that normally takes the... Well, self and Shawnee, you both take the phone calls, don't you? Yeah. Okay. On the busy times, right. So what actually happens then, Owen? Your phone calls come in, you also get emails as well.
Yeah, mainly you got phone calls coming in from listeners. At the beginning of the show you'll have golden goals. So today we've got 5 games going on. We've got City, United, we've got West Beach and we've got Histon. And so people phone in and they have their guess. Ambos will be scored in the 5 games. And the winner wins a prize, so you take all the entries. So I've got all the entries here and I'll take the information and the phone numbers. And then you also get calls for the phone in at the end and you take numbers and phone them back later. Just
interesting, how many phone calls do you get on the phone in, roughly, would you say?
It varies tremendously. Last week, for instance, one of the prizes we gave away for the golden goals was the Yap Stan biography, which caused a lot of controversy with Ferguson and everything. So we took last week nearly 100 calls just on goals, which, you know, doesn't sound like a huge... Yeah, that's something. Today we think we've taken about 50. Right. You know, you've got to... I mean, that doesn't sound like a huge number, but you're taking those phone calls in, you know, less than an hour, and so each phone call, you know, you're pretty much on the phone the whole time taking phone calls. So there's a lot of people obviously might not have got through last week as well. So yeah, it's a good number of phone calls, a lot of entries, and then obviously you got guessing for the number of goals. So then you might get last week, I think we had 8 people guess correctly, and so then you draw one of them out and they win the prize.
Sean, are you Cambs United supporter or you're not football? Not too bothered.
I don't really follow football.
What's your sport?
None of them really.
Right.
No, I'm not really.
A slob. You're a slob, basically.
Like no, I know with computers, and that's what I do here.
Lovely. So your end is dealing with the website for the radio station.
Not the website. I take clips off of 5 Live.
Oh, right.
All the football clips and that. And
that we can use.
That's
here.
right, and they all go on the computers and they play them out. So
you're editing all of the material that's collected on Saturday for what we want to use for broadcast for Cambridgeshire.
Yeah, that's right.
Job done. Excellent. Yeah. Okay, well, to it because it looks like. You know, the phones will start ringing any minute. Lovely, we'll leave these to it and we'll go and see what Andy Harper gets up to. We're told it's not a lot. You can see through there, that's lovely, isn't it?
Frustrated me, and then not...
Okay, well, this is where you see, this is Andy Harper, okay, on his throne, on a Saturday afternoon. Is this your home, Andy? This is where you are generally, is
It
it?
feels like my home, full stop, Sooty, rather than just on a Saturday afternoon. I seem to spend all my time here, but certainly on a Saturday, yeah.
So, do you listen just to one game in here,
No.
or you listen to both?
I'm listening to both. I've got Cambridge United in one can, and today it's Trevor Peer and Andy Griffin, and in the other can I've got Edwin Overland and Matthew Gill commentating on the Posh against Bristol City.
And do you select hearing, Andy, or do you just hear both?
I hear both. I'm responsible for taking out the chances and the goals that Cambridge United create or take, literally because this is the driving desk, and Jim next door does the same thing with Peterborough United, so he takes out all the chances that when they're in, then they come to when we play them again. But obviously I've got to know what's going on in both games, because if I'm going to talk to people in the phone in,
on both sides,
I've got to know what's gone on.
That's right.
And so, but yeah, I am responsible literally for taking out any chances that Cambridge United have created, or goals they've scored. So I haven't been a very busy afternoon.
Is that right? Is it?
Yes.
Well, we've got the Blackpool game this afternoon, which is in here in the background. Is Trevor reporting on, which at the moment is not looking too good. 1-0 to Blackpool, but. So what happens here, Andy? The lads we just spoke to, they feed through the phone calls and information.
Right,
yeah. They could. Are these people waiting to come online?
These are from a previous programme, because obviously at this stage nobody's waiting yet.
Right, sure.
But what happens is Owen next door takes the calls as he explained. He then will put up here, for instance, Steve, line 1. He'll also put whereas on this programme just say where they're from. I don't care where they're from,
Right.
but I want to talk about the Posh, obviously. So say Steve used, that tells us, because obviously it pays phone in accord. Something on this bit of equipment here.
Various buttons and then bring them up.
So and things you've got going on a national scale,
Yeah,
which you do report on as well.
Right, yeah, we have teletext up in order just to keep us across all the rest of the scores. We have a young lad, Sean, next door, who from the BBC feed pulls out the Premiership scores at reports at half-time and full-time, which then goes straight into the computer. We use a system called Dalet, which then I can play them out.
Right.
So I've got a screen there, a screen here with the information I'm getting from the centre studio where they answer the phones, and a screen here which really is the most important one, which is Dalet, which in the old days we'd have been using carts and tape.
Right.
Everything is now computerised, and for instance I can just show you straight away, there are the 3 Posh goals they're in, Cambridge United chances, any interviews I'm going to do with McEwen, the Peterborough Pirates. So
Yeah, and one of those. And
I just put them in, open up the faders and they play out. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
That's state-of-the-art stuff.
Yeah.
I mean that's state-of-the-art. Out of interest, I mean, there's no dig at BBC, Andy, you know, but out of interest, is the teletext the most up-to-date or quickest service? Like, Sky obviously are reeling it up as goals have happened, but
yeah, they are.
is that fairly up-to-date or
yes,
instant?
and CFAX has CFAX now has a rolling, video printer type thing.
Right.
But I like it like this because literally, I mean, I know my way around. Obviously, CFAX better than teletext, and I know exactly where I want to look for things. But we could have the rolling thing. We could be watching Sky, but we don't just want to know goals as they're scored. We want to know, a quick look back and say, oh yes, so and so did score twice in the first half or whatever.
Right.
And it's just what you're familiar with. It's nothing to do with the BBC. Nobody would mind, I assume, if I used ITV's service. It's just the one I'm familiar with, and so I use it, yeah. And I need to know, I tell Trevor or Edwin, if somebody, a past player, for instance, has scored for somebody else.
Just subject matter, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. So, I always tell him if Martin Butler scores for Reading, or tell Edwin, if Simon Davis has been on target for Spurs, hopefully not this afternoon because they're at Anfield.
Well, that's right. Well, yes, of course, which is another subject.
It is another subject for another day.
Day. Would you say that there's more people phone from Borough, or let's talk straight? Would you say logistically that there's more Borough than Cambridge, or more Cambridge than Borough that actually phone up with their points of view?
It's a difficult one, really. I'll tell you what I do think is that fans are more prolific when their club is doing badly.
Right.
So, because I think, if they're doing well, they can come on and rub it and keep on, or we're doing ever so well. But they want to, if you like, they want to evens. And so when Posh are struggling, it's fair to say you have a lot more callers than when they're doing well. But it's also the case with Cambridge United as well. We have our regulars who would call come what may. But I think it does depend. So at the moment, I would say that Cambridge United fans on the phone in are outweighing the Posh fans. It wasn't that long ago. But it wasn't long ago when it was completely the opposite way round. Right. And from this phone of view, it's better with bad results.
Right.
From everything else, well, obviously we want good results, but there's always a sort of like silver lining.
Bad
so
news sells, doesn't it? Bad news
precisely.
sells.
If we always want our two teams to win, obviously, because it justifies the money we spend on sport. But there's a silver lining in as much that if they do have a bad day, then I will say to Ben or to Jonathan or whoever, the phone-in will be good today. So look at it like, from a professional point of view, yeah.
Okay, well, what we'll do then is we're coming close to the end of the games. It's getting that way, so we'll film how things go, and I'll get my pen and paper out and start marking down the Borough versus Cambridge goals.
Okay.
We'll
I think today with Cambridge just fine. With Cambridge United at Blackpool, you know, it might well. It's more difficult, obviously, if they're a long way away.
To get
Andy Griffin, a regular, is summarising. I feel today that we could well get more Posh fans just because they put 6 past Bournemouth and 3 past Bristol Rovers in the first half. That's just my feeling, but I've got an idea because it's 20 to 5 and I never know who's called and how many have called until after past 5.
Let's see. Yes!
What an opportune moment. What an opportune moment.
There you go, live radio for you.
So now you might as well just see what I do now. I've got this commentary here.
Very good goal, very well worked goal.
You can see Trevor Pear's vocals going all over the place there. Right?
If I let you have a listen there, and you just tell me.
It's their time for the U's to notch their first away victory. You have to be fair and say they've never been
Skitson.
never looked like scoring.
Skitson scores.
There it is.
There's the goal. That's the goal. There's a couple of things going on Borough as well. Well, there you go. I think we'll wait for the fans to phone in with the excitement now.
Blackpool 1, Cambridge 1.
Thanks very much indeed to Trevor Pear and Andy Griffin, our commentary team at Bloomfield Road. Maybe we'll get a call from 1 or 2 Cambridge United fans who've made the journey, but if you're a Hughes fan who's stayed at home and to that commentary and you want to have something to say, you know what to do, give us a call, 08459 25 2000.
On the game, it was obvious that it was a bitty game and there wasn't a great deal to take out of it, but the way with the point is probably the best that we could have achieved.
If you get one more than the bottom 4, that'll be enough. Again.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we really should be in this division, not what we've got, so just stay in there, Andy. I think we're doing well.
Good to talk to you. By the way, this is being filmed for Amber and Black, so if you're an Amber and Black fan, then you know what to have a look. Now, sorry, Steve Jolly's fault. He told me he got a new number, but it's not recognisable. There's no surprise there, is there? We'll go to Richard instead. Hello, Richard. And what a great way to finish off today's phone-in with you. Cheers. It's 7 minutes to 6. Ben Macaulay.
Before I bring you the Paul's news, the local football results, and indeed the closing headlines, I shall begin with tonight's rugby results. Here are the results. Bicester Town 2, Brighton 0, House 5,
Ben Macaulay.
Berry Town 4, Somerset Ambury 5, Cockfosters 5, Warboys Town.
Okay, well we've now got Ben Macaulay. Now Ben, you'll hear, is the gentleman that gives you all of the results, gives you all the leagues, end of day results from the leagues and such. But Ben, I mean, you're a Hughes fan, is that right, Ben?
Well, it's a little bit of a secret.
There's a little bit of secret, yeah. Okay. So how does that affect you when you approach the programme with the result of the day? Does it affect you, or do you just carry on?
It doesn't, because we've got to give equal coverage to Cambridge United and indeed Peterborough United. Of course, I'm delighted every time Cambridge United win, but I've got to be professional. I've got to, you know, as I said, we certainly don't show any bias. We don't want to show any bias, and I've just got to deal with the results as they come in and be professional about it.
How do you get your head round? I mean, you're obviously confident now because you've been doing it a while, but initially, when you were faced with that list of teams and the results, how do you approach that and knowing that you're getting all of the names right? And
sure,
you know,
I mean, it is just, mind you, I'm not sure I still get some of the names right, but it is just really getting myself familiar with them. And as you said, I've been doing this now for almost 3 years, so it's really just a case of, especially the smaller teams from you know, the minor divisions. It is difficult, but you just learn by your mistakes.
Like Bicester.
exactly right. You spot that one.
We all do.
Yeah, I thought you probably would.
All right, Ben.
Cheers,
good luck for the future. All right, thanks a lot.
Well, enjoy the weekend, as I said. Coming up after me, Mike Liggins. But thanks to everybody for listening. Good night.
Nation. Nation.
Right. Okay, fans, got Alan Pardew with us now, Reading manager. Alan, the conditions and stuff tonight weren't ideal for us to play sort of football, if Cambridge can play football, which we can on occasion, and we've shown that lately. But you've had problems lately. How did you approach the game tonight facing us? Because we've got some confidence from last week, but you're struggling strikers-wise and such like that. So the first half, it ended up looking like we were holding our own to some degree, and it changed second half. So how did you view the game yourself?
I don't know, you done pretty well there, didn't you? I don't really got a question to answer. No, you know, the loss of one loss was a blow.
Right.
And I think he's a very good player, and you know, that buoyed us because it was a big game for us. You know, our fans were expecting us to get a result here, and after our two poor performances, we needed to win, and that we'd done everything in our power tonight just to win the game, and I'm thankful for that. But Cambridge are an effective side. Both sides are always effective. They'll get results, and you know, we got 3 points. We got a tricky game. We go to you, and I'm not looking forward to it one bit.
I mean, we were playing the 4-3-3 first half, which seemed to be producing, well, at least we were showing something, and then we changed the second half, which then seemed to give you more the upper hand in the second half. I mean, did you take advantage of that, or did you just feel you come through stronger in the second half? No,
I just thought that, you know, John's trying to win the game. It's a tough place to come and win here, and we got good players, and you know, it was always going to be difficult for them to get a result here today, but I thought they're professionals at Cambridge, conducting themselves in a fantastic manner, and they can be performance, but we managed to get the 3 points.
Now, obviously Martin Butler, just one last thing, Alan. Martin Butler is obviously one of our favourites. He had an injury, he's just come back. Is he looking sort of good for getting back to full fitness? Because you pulled him off again today.
Yeah, I just wanted to rest him for Saturday, to be honest. Right. He's our catalyst. He's our best player, right, all round, and I want to protect him and make sure he's right.
Lovely. Nice meeting you, Alan. Have a good season. All right. Cheers. Right.
We actually played well for a good 20 minutes. We should have had a penalty early on, but we didn't. The referee didn't see it. And after that, we sort of fell away. You know, I think the fact
You're getting serious now, aren't you?
I am. This is very serious. I mean, we wanted to keep the same system, 4-3-3. You know, we lost Tom Cowles at half-time, and
But we had the game for the first half, didn't we? You know, I mean, you know, we did have the game for the first half.
I mean, you can say that about. Let's talk about Stoke. You know, had the game first half
and then we lost
first half. Well, the majority of the game against Notts County, we've lost. You know. I think we've really got to find someone who can stick the ball in the back of the net. We've got to find dominant centre half. We've got to find another midfield player that can help the lack of midfield players we've got at the moment, because we've got a lot of injuries. It's a hard task ahead of us, but that when you're playing against big clubs like this with tremendous resources, and they must be listening to us thinking, oh yeah, I bet they've got more players to go in. Well, we haven't.
Right.
We haven't.
It is. I mean, I see you doing it each week, John. I mean, because I am privy behind the scenes, seeing what goes on at training ground, and I see the lads get knocked in there. So you haven't really had the chance to sort of say, right, this is me 11, and know that you can rely on that 11 to go out and play a sort of style.
We mustn't make excuses though, because the supporters out there.
But we haven't got the squad to fall back on in the sense.
We haven't at the moment. You know, what we've got to do is we've got to get out there up and down the moat and find players that for that don't cost a lot in the wages and don't cost a lot fee wise, and like the likes of Stev Ang. You know, he was a free transfer from West Ham, and he's going to be a good player for us.
Rough diamond, yeah.
But they're few and far between, and you only pick them up every now and again, and it takes 6 months up and down the motorway to find a Stev Angus.
That's right.
So, we'll just keep cracking on, and every time we play at home, we've got to play more football, and we play 4-3-3, and we close the opposition down, and then when we go away from home, perhaps we battle a bit more and play our football when we can. Perhaps it might not be the prettiest away from home. We've got to try and great results if we can. So,
well, Alan Pardew said that. I mean, he knew that Wonnie was a blow to us not having. I mean, he respects Wonnie as a good player.
Yeah.
And it is a blow because he is a pillar in the middle there that the team sort of does surround in certain ways that we do.
You've only got to look what Wonnie done Saturday. I mean, he made one and scored one.
That's right. So I mean, you lose key the sort of players that are in the team. It makes a big difference. So we've come here, look at it, but 1-0 against Reading, and again, you're looking at money again, there's no real need to be depressed, is there, John?
Well, it's certainly not after Saturday's performance, but I am impressed because
it's like that, isn't it? It's like that.
We played well Saturday, and had we played anywhere near played like Saturday
tonight,
we would have got maybe 3 points, let alone 1 point out of the game. I think that is what's going to happen this season. I can just see it. We're young, inexperienced, and we are on a roller coaster.
Of time in, isn't you, really, to get the result?
Roller coaster. Really. Loads of work on the training field.
Anybody injured from tonight, John, or any?
Tom Cowan. Tom Cowan's got a really bad whack on his shin and couldn't run. And
what about Wally? Will he be back for Saturday?
Don't know. He can't walk at the moment.
Right.
Don't know. So we'll just give it. Just have to wait and see.
Right. Well, at least Blackpool ain't got the money that we've been looking at lately. So
they're a good side.
But that's not to underestimate them.
Yeah,
just like us. I mean, they're as capable as we are, aren't we?
That's right.
So we'll go down and see. Get some rock.
Rock. Oh, blimey. I need more than that, Sooty, at the moment. I feel awful at the moment.
Right, John. Have a good journey home. All right. We'll see you Saturday.
All the best.
All right, mate. Cheers.
That's why we have forwarded a list of more than 190 people to national, state, local law enforcement agencies across the country.
Ashcroft also said that the new computer virus was spreading over the internet that could be worse than the code red worm last July. He said the NIMDA virus spread through email attacks.
Okay, at this stage I will apologise because myself and Matt, we weren't able to get up to Blackpool for one reason or another. So what we thought we'd do is we'd do the next best thing and we'd ask Shane his opinions, his impressions of whether Blackpool's still there, the tower's still standing, and did you go on the big one? Did you go on the big one, Shane?
On the big one, no, we didn't. We focused on the game, so we didn't go on any rides or the tourist attractions, any donkeys or anything like that.
Bit of a mishmash team, what you took up there, really, wasn't it? I mean, looking at the, on the piece of paper, it was a bit of a mishmash job, really.
Yeah, I mean, we're down to the bare bones, as they say in football, and we're trying to get all that together. But yeah, we got injuries, and we missed one, and we've had to get a side together with a new method we're trying to play with three in the middle of the park, and it was mishmash, but we got a point, so at least we come away with something.
I mean, the lads said when I saw them on Sunday morning, they came in for a rundown and that, but they were saying that they all felt it was a hard game. It was a pitch weren't too healthy for it either, but it was a hard game, and they were pleased to come away with a point, and perhaps it was undeserving. But then, so far this season, we've had performances where we have deserved at least a draw, and in some occasions the win. So it swings and roundabouts, really.
No, of course, yeah, no, that's right. I mean, it was a tough pitch in terms of it was sapping and very, very dead. So the lads found it very, very hard work. I mean, same with both sides. So to go there and work hard and come away with nothing is a real disappointment. So, we come away with a point, and a deserved point. A good golf hits. I think Dunks is trying to claim it, but got no chance.
No, Kitts has actually said it was a flicked header in his own terminology. He said it was a flicked. I said, was it a flicked? Was it really? So, I mean, these things, are we getting some lads back now looking into the picture for tomorrow night's game against Wigan? Because this programme's going out tonight, Shane. So.
Yeah, the game's 1 day too early for one. He's done some work this morning, and we've really left it to him. But in truth, what one is like, you've got to drag him back, and he's not right, and he said himself, he's nowhere near right. So we're going to be without him again, and obviously we're still without Tony Scully.
Colin's still lingering on.
Colin's
as well,
still struggling,
which is a bit of a strange one.
Well, it's Achilles tendonitis.
He weren't expected at the beginning. It didn't look as though it was that sort of bad, really.
But, I mean, I know John's had Achilles problems. I've never had Achilles problems, but those who've had them, I mean, it's a poor blood supply there, and they often take a long time. And he's having another scan tomorrow just to clarify that exactly where that is now. And then a decision be made whether to have either a small operation or an injection or whatever. That's down to the physio. That's a bit of a disappointment. Tony Scully started off this week at Lilleshall, and he's getting there now.
And Phil's had a game as well. Phil Warner's had a game as well.
Phil's had a game, yeah, but no, and Phil will be involved tomorrow.
Oh, will he really?
Yeah,
good
and
news.
He's back. He's not quite 100%, but all hands to the pump.
Yeah. No, well, I'd say based on the performance we've seen of Phil before he got his injury, a half a performance from him is as good as some of the players' full performance.
Yeah, he's good in Phil. He's going to be a good one for us, and he's a very good addition to the club. Very good.
Okay, so overall, Shane, I mean, what are we in 8 or 9 games into the season?
Yep.
Reflecting back, it was a bit heated at the beginning. because it was taking a bit of time for us to get something out of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, looking back on perhaps the last 3 games, Blackpool, Cardiff and Reading, I mean, if anyone was to put them down on paper and say we're going to come away with 4 points out of those 3 games, that's quite a good result, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, when we looked at the fixture list to start off at the beginning of the season, you couldn't help but identify the first 10 games as tie games because, you're playing sides, with all due respect, they've paid out far more money for players that, on paper should be better players. And we haven't had time to get a team together, so us working as a team is better than their team with their individuals. And, these sides have had their players a long time, they've paid a lot of dough for them, and we always knew it was going to be tough. On top of that, we had injuries to our senior players, the lads who knew the game, and we had to bring in our youngsters for the future early, and we had 5 or 6 players with less than 6 games each in the side at once, which isn't ideal. You want to bring in 1 or 2 at a time. And on top of that, we missed a penalty in injury time, and then we went out on penalties and to some good performances. So, all in all, things transpired to go against us, and we found ourselves, we felt very, very hardly done by in the bottom 4. But the last 3 games, we changed against Cardiff, went through in the middle of the park, and as we all know now, we're passing it, we wanted to pass it, and that was one of my criticisms, if anything, on Saturday. We didn't pass it enough, and anyone was there can see us hollering on the sideline to get it down and pass it and have confidence and pass it. But these things take time.
But then we was a patchwork on Saturday, so to try and expect the confidence amongst that team when it was perhaps asking a bit much, but so to come away with a point is really the best we could have perhaps achieved.
Yeah, I think it was a solid point. We didn't cave in when it wasn't our day. We didn't cave in and go 2, 3, 4 goals down. We kept plugging away, and we had 1 or 2 chances. Kit scored a great goal a minute after they scored for offside, which wasn't offside. If you look at the video, it was nowhere near offside. So it should have been 1 each anyway.
Right.
And then, set pieces, we like to spend a lot of time, and we put the effort in, and we're super organised, and we don't apologise for being organised for set pieces, and we score from a corner. So that was nice, and we take the positive from that. But the lads know, and we know, that once we get ourselves right with the time, we'll go to a place like Blackpool and we're going to win.
Yeah, well that's what we should be looking to do once we've got together.
We can't do that now. There's no way we can look at our side now and expect us to go to Blackpool with the money they've spent, although they're not a big side. They've spent a few bob, and they've been there 3.5 years with McMahon to get that team together. We can't just expect to go there and get a result. It's just not going to happen.
No.
It takes time to build a club and time to build a team and get the players in and get those players in knowing their jobs within that team and then playing with confidence. And that's what we're doing, but it takes time, but we're getting there.
What about Warren Goodhind? He had his first game Saturday. Well, did he fit in, or is it going to take a few weeks for him to get figured out how we do things?
He slipped over for the first goal, bless him. And everything was been playing about 2 minutes, and on his debut he slipped over. They got him behind, across and scored. But so
that's in the Warren Goodhind, is it?
Yeah, I don't think he'll be playing again this year.
And what about now? Well, TK, let's just clear something up now. He as far as I understood, he was going out to play for Heybridge.
Isn't that warm, by the way?
It's lovely. It's lovely today, isn't it? Is that a distraction, or are we going to talk to you?
Carry on.
Have I got you in the corner here now? Have I got you in the corner? Now, TK, as I understood it, was going out to play for Heybridge. I've since found out he did play Saturday.
Yes.
He's here sort of month to month as such. There's no sort of definite deal, is there? He's sort of here.
Basis,
that's right. He's here just see things go.
Yep.
He hasn't, I mean, this is my opinion, Shane, but I mean, I've seen every performance he's done. He hasn't really shone out anything.
No.
But has there been any decision as to what are you looking for him to do in the near future? Then,
well, he's a young lad. He's 19. He's got a pace. He's got ability in the air, and he can play. Whether or not he can grab this opportunity to play in our side in the Football League remains to be seen. What we feel he needs, because he hasn't had a pre-season, we feel he needs the day-to-day training here with our fitness consultants, with the technique we do. He's over there on the head.
Professionalism that we've got.
Of course, to get into that habit, and then go and play in the first team where it counts, and it matters. Your performance matters, and your chances matter, and you're under a little bit more pressure as opposed to the reserves. As part of his development. So we're monitoring very, very closely what he's doing, and he was back with us today, and he's worked today, and he's going to go and play for Heybridge again tomorrow.
He actually scored 3 goals on Saturday.
Yes.
He actually scored one. 2 were disallowed, but he made another one and all. So it's amazing, isn't it? Because I mean, he's not really shown that here.
I mean, there's a massive step up between playing Ryman Premier League and coming and playing in the second division of the Football League.
And that's probably what's told.
I think there's a massive step playing in the third division of the Football League to the second division. I know people always said there wasn't a difference. It is a difference. And strikers are often a difference.
Right.
You know, if you go down and play in the third division at Exeter or somewhere like that, and then you come up to the second division and you've got the likes of who's the boy that went to Cardiff?
Oh, well, just the Thorn. Thorn. Is it Thorn or Thorn? Thorn.
£1.8 million.
That's right, yeah.
You know, that's the so, as I said, it's just part of his progression and part of his learning curve.
Right.
See how he does there.
Have we got any other trialists coming in that we're looking at? Because we've got this sort of tie-up from sort of abroad.
Yeah.
Anything news on that? Anything we can grind out?
Well, we're going to have a brief look at a centre-back from France, 6'4", can play. And we're going to see, you know, if he's good enough to come in. The whole point of everything is to bring in players that are better than what we've got. I mean, every now and again, you unearth someone like Armand One. I mean, Armand is going to be a wonderful player. Right. He's 18 years of age. We think he's
getting a bit of stick here and there at the minute, which isn't really not very.
It's not fair.
Not 18, fair. And he has got that skill. There's
it's
no
not
question
fair on
about
him,
that.
and as a management, we have to be seen to protect him from that, because you know he can't speak English. He's been with us minutes. He's nowhere near fit. He doesn't really know his jobs.
Yeah. Just still learning the job.
And he's learning the game, And what he's got is raw talent, which he shows us at times, and the crowd love him for it. But what we can't do at the moment, we can't rely on him.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to rely on him. But he's going to learn, and we'll keep a focus on that and see how he learns. And at the right time, we're going to rest him outside. Right. But he's going to be good for the future. I'd like to think that people will show patience, the same as John and myself know. We've got to show patience with him. We've got to show patience. He does things that you pull your hair out, but that's part and parcel of what he is. You've got to show patience. Ultimately, it'll be a real asset to this football club.
Well, certainly the things I've seen him do outside of the games we've been playing, but even then, in some of the games he's played so far, he's shown touches that you know you don't see at second division level.
We want to see the best of him for another 6 months, so he gets fully fit and settled in here and starts to understand how we play and what we want him to do, the responsibility he has for the team.
And then another £1 million in the bin. That'll do, won't it?
It'll be more than that.
It will be, really. All right, Shane. Excellent. Thanks for I know you're a busy man. Take your time out, all right? And this will go out tonight. So this is the latest information for all the fans. What about Wigan tomorrow? I mean, we're approaching that with really same as every other game at the minute, just putting a team together what we've got.
Yeah.
And but Wigan was one of the fancied sort of, must be up the top half there somewhere.
Yeah.
But they haven't shown that sort of form so far, have they?
Not yet. You know, I don't think they relish coming here. We have started to get a little bit of reputation, even though we were down there. I mean, I know
Sabry's come back in.
I know, speaking to people, you know, they didn't come here lightly, and I know that Cardiff didn't come in lightly, and they proved so. But we just got to do what we do and focus on ourselves. And I mean, what you have to remember is every one of the lads that will be playing will consider themselves good enough for the first team.
That's right.
So they have to take the opportunity and stay inside.
Well, we'll be here.
I'll be here.
Make sure you are tomorrow night, Wigan. Tuesday night here at the Abbey. Right then,
let me interview you.
Go on, interview me.
Here we are at Majestic Stadium.
Right. Majestic Stadium?
Is it Majestic?
I don't know.
What is this stadium called?
Majestic.
I was close anyway, I was close. And we just had a 1-0 defeat. What do you think of the performance, Sooty?
Well, I think that I'd like to leave the job and get the club to find another manager. How's that? I can't take it. I can't
take the pressure.
No, it's too much.
No, well, you interview me now and I'll tell you what I think. Right. Here we are at the Majestic Stadium.
Right.
Come on.
We're right, okay, John. Right, now look. Me and Matt got here 10 minutes late, and we missed the best part.
You missed the best part of our play. Oh, that's it. It's down the rain and all.
What do you reckon the score's going to be?
5-0 for Wigan.
You're joking.
All right, mate.